are facing 4 indictments, 91 felony charges.
If you would say it properly, I'm facing 4 Biden indictments. He told the Justice Department to indict him, or Merrick Garland said, let's indict him.
Let me ask you this, Mr. President.
They indicted their political opponent.
I just want to hear from you on this. I want to know what's in your head. When you go to bed at night, do you worry about going to jail?
No, I don't, really. I don't even think about it. I'm built a little differently, I guess, because I have had people come up to me and say, how do you do it, sir? How do you do it? I don't even think about it. These are corrupt people that I'm dealing with. They're destroying our country. I don't even think about it. All I think about is making the country great, making America great. Look, these are political, these are Banana Republic indictments. These are third world indictments. The President of the United States sees how we're doing. We have a movement, the likes of which has never happened in this country before. And you see it with the polls. I mean, I'm up on these people by 60 points and 59 points. I don't mean I'm at 59. I'm leading them by 59. You almost say, like, why are they campaigning? Asa Hutchinson, he's at 0. Christie's at 2. Other ones are at 1. DeSanctimonious is at 9. I just see a poll come. I mean, I'm leading him by 60 points.
Mr. President.
And you say, why are they doing it? But here's what they did. They saw this happening. And he went to the Attorney General of the United States and he told them, indict Trump.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I got to tell you guys, I'm in a pretty good mood today, okay? I'm in probably a better mood than I've been in a long time, because I really do think that the tide is changing in this country when it comes to people finally realizing and understanding that continuing to allow Democrats to run this country is going to push us off a cliff. I mean, you can argue that the country's already fell off a cliff, right? And we're trying desperately to, I don't know, find a way to save ourselves from crashing and burning into the ground, right? I'm just saying. But Trump has declared that he's built differently, right? He is built differently, okay? In his interview with Christian Welker, that the left and the right are both upset with at the same time, he declared he's built differently. And so it seems voters actually do believe that Trump is built differently, at the very least when it comes to this issue of age, okay? The difference between him and Biden, because Trump has argued that, look, it's not about age, it's more about the physical and mental capacity to do the job, which, I mean, hey, you know, we wouldn't be talking about age if Biden wasn't so clearly mentally incapable of leading the country. But that's why we're having this conversation. And voters seem to agree with Trump and understand that, hey, Biden's too old, but hey, when it comes to Trump, he might not necessarily be a spring chicken, but at the very least, he ain't Biden, right? Like, his age is not showing up the same way that Biden's age is showing up. And again, that is what is the takeaway from this new CBS poll that I'm sure the mainstream liberal media took no enjoyment in reporting. Take a look.
CBS News' latest poll numbers on the presidential race showing that former President Donald Trump is leading President Biden by 1 point. That's a statistical tie, this among likely voters, if Trump is a Republican nominee. Many who responded say age is a factor for them in their decision. Nancy Cordes is here to break down the numbers. Nancy, Democrats are going to have a breakdown when they see these numbers. Good morning.
That's a possibility, Tony. Good morning. Republicans have homed in on President Biden's age as they make their case against him. And this poll shows that strategy is having an impact, not just among GOP voters, but among independents and Democrats, too. Even those who support him say they worry about someone who is already 80 years old remaining in the job until he's 86.
I know I'm 198 years old. But all kidding aside,
concerns about age are nothing new for President Biden. But the latest CBS News poll puts the problem in stark relief. Only 1/3 of respondents think Mr. Biden would be likely to finish a second term if reelected, while 55% think his likely Republican rival, Donald Trump, would finish his term, even though he was born just 3 years after Mr. Biden.
Do I wish we had a younger president? Absolutely.
CBS News spoke to Democratic voters in Westchester, Pennsylvania about their concerns this weekend.
You need someone with a little more energy level.
When I see him move, he looks old, but when I hear him and his ideas, I think they're youthful.
Mr. Biden's doctor says his stiffened gait is a product of spinal arthritis and a recent foot fracture, but that otherwise he is a healthy, vigorous 80-year-old male.
80's the new 40, didn't you hear?
But the poll shows that voters' worries go beyond physical fitness. Respondents were far more likely to say that only Trump, and not Mr. Biden, has the cognitive and mental health to serve.
Why do you think so many Americans still say they have concerns about someone in their 80s being president?
You know, I can't speak to every American out there and their concerns. What I can speak to is what this president has done, right? I can speak to his experience. I can speak to the wisdom that he has. I can speak to his record.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We have another brutal poll for Joe Biden, okay? I mean, as you can see in that poll, there are 44% of Americans who believe that Trump is the only candidate that is mentally and physically capable of being in office, okay? A lot of people would much rather see Trump, or they trust Trump in office in regards to his mental and physical capabilities to serve than they do Joe Biden, right? It really is a damn shame to see the president of the United States not only just be mentally incapable of serving, but also it seems like he's facing some physical ailments as well too, right? Which, I mean, that's what happens as you age, okay? You experience muscle loss. And in this case, it seems like Biden's not all that concerned about it, okay? But if he was concerned about preventing muscle loss, then maybe he wouldn't look so frail and old, and maybe the polls wouldn't be so bad, right? And that is why the sponsor of this video is BioTrust. Did you know that you can begin to lose muscle as early as the age of 30? Now, me personally, I'm coming up on my 30s, not quite there yet, but I'm coming up on it. So I am very aware of this reality. Then at 40, research shockingly suggests that you can begin to lose up to 10% of your muscle mass every decade. And if nothing is done to prevent this muscle loss, it can lead to loss of strength, weight gain, decreased energy, and much, much more. The good news is that no matter what age you're at, you can begin to take steps to stop this and even to put it in reverse. That's why hundreds of thousands are taking action today to reverse their muscle loss with this amazing new product by BioTrust, Ageless Muscle. It combines 4 science-backed ingredients to combat age-related muscle and strength loss. Together, this premium blend of my HMB, betaine, creatine, and vitamin D3 offer powerful support to build and preserve muscle mass, promote muscular endurance, improve athletic performance, promote muscle hydration, help reduce soreness, and promote post-exercise recovery. Most importantly, you'll save 41% for this month only. Plus, for a limited time, you'll receive free gifts, including free shipping, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, and a free new ebook titled 9 Most Important Ingredients to Hold On To as You Continue to Age. All at no extra cost to you. Go to musclewithpatriot.com. That's musclewithpatriot.com. Or click the link below in the description to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime deal before it sells out. Yeah, so not only are the general election polls looking very favorable towards Trump, you also have the primary polls looking very favorable towards Trump. I mean, he is just absolutely dominating the primary polls. And it seems like Trump is the strongest that he has ever been, okay? Even Kevin McCarthy came out in a Fox News interview with Maria Bartiromo and declared that basically the primary is over, while at the same time seemingly taking a shot at DeSantis, who apparently is not built the same way Trump is built. And again, this is something that Kevin McCarthy is saying out loud. Take a look.
All of that, the policies that you mentioned of the Biden administration, is one reason that Donald Trump is leading in the polls right now. What's your take on this, that as we see more indictments of Donald Trump, he seems to be gaining in terms of popularity with the public? Will he be the nominee?
I think he will be the nominee. And the thing is, President Trump is stronger today than he was in 2016 or 2020. And there's a reason why. They saw the policies of what he was able to do with America, putting America first, making our economy stronger. We didn't have inflation. We didn't have these battles around the world. We didn't look weak around the world.
Well, it looks like Ron DeSantis is now trying to work with your colleagues who are pushing for a shutdown.
Yeah, but I don't think that would work anywhere. A shutdown would only give strength to the Democrats. It would give the power to Biden. It wouldn't pay our troops. It wouldn't pay our border agents. More people would be coming across. I actually want to achieve something. And this is where President Trump is so smart, that he was successful in this. You know, President Trump is beating Biden right now in the polls.
Yeah, we have the poll. Let's show it.
He's stronger than he has ever been in this process. And look, I served with Ron DeSantis. He's not at the same level as President Trump by any shape or form. He would not have gotten elected without President Trump's endorsement. And so I believe our best step forward, pass our appropriation bills so we're stronger. Take the wokeism out, secure our border to make America stronger.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, I got to tell you guys, right? I personally still believe that Kevin McCarthy is a snake, okay? I think that he is a political chameleon, right? Kind of like Lindsey Graham, right? I think he's kind of in that same category. But for him to come out and to basically throw Ron DeSantis under the bus like that, right? Saying that he's basically not in the same league as Trump really does say a lot about how some people in the GOP view Ron DeSantis' electability, right? Because the argument that the people who are never Trump have been making, and people who happen to support Ron DeSantis, which again, you know, me personally, I don't have any problem with, right? I don't have any problems with anybody who supports Trump, DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, or any of these GOP candidates, to be quite honest with you. Now, when it comes to, you know, people outside of my top three, Trump, Ramaswamy, DeSantis, you know, I might have to hold my nose to go vote for those people, right? But for the most part, again, you know, I think all these guys are better than Biden. However, when you look at the polls, right, this idea that Trump shouldn't be the Republican nominee, or you shouldn't vote for Trump because Trump is less electable in the general election than DeSantis, just does not show up in the polls, right? It doesn't show up in the polls, okay? Because poll after poll after poll shows that Trump is doing much better against Biden than DeSantis, right? If the election was held today, it is likely that Trump would beat Biden, and it's likely that DeSantis would probably lose to Biden, right? Well, again, why is that? It's because Trump, unlike DeSantis, Trump is more moderate on issues that you are required to be moderate on in order to actually win a general election at the national level. That is the reality of politics. And I'm saying that because you're going to have a whole bunch of conservative influencers that are going to come out today, and they're going to virtue signal at the top of their lungs. A lot of these influencers support DeSantis, right? They believe DeSantis is better than Trump. And they're going to use Trump's comments on refusing to endorse a federal abortion ban as proof that Trump is not sufficiently conservative, right? He's not sufficiently pro-life. He's not sufficiently Christian. And I'm here to tell you guys, right, that do not let any of these people ever try to guilt trip you into feeling like you're not Christian enough, you're not pro-life enough, you're not conservative enough, because you don't want to go along with their agenda that is not popular enough at the national level to win an election. When you push an extreme agenda that you do not have the support for, what happens is that you lose elections. And if we lose this election in 2024, if Democrats have a blue wave, then it is much more likely that there will be more abortions in this country, okay? And that we will lose all the progress that the pro-life movement has made over the last 30, 40 years, simply because people insisted that the GOP nominee push for a federal ban. When, again, politically speaking, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Again, that's the reality of politics. We don't live in a theocracy, okay? We live in a constitutional republic, okay? And there are elements of democracy in which people have to vote on these things, and people have to understand that the reason why their guy, DeSantis, right, is not as electable as Trump in the general is because on some issues, DeSantis is too extreme. you're not compromising your values by acknowledging the political reality that on this issue of abortion, conservatives just simply do not have the support as of right now to push for a federal ban. Okay, and if we do push for a federal ban, what will happen is it's the same thing that happened in 2022, and the GOP will get wiped out in the 2024 election, which would likely lead to Democrats codifying Roe v. Wade into law. And then guess what? The pro-life progress, the pro-life movement, all that stuff goes down the drain because we just gave Democrats the election, right? And because I am pro-life, I do believe that life begins at conception. I am not willing to give up all the progress we've made for something that is very, very, very unlikely that we will get, at least at this point in time. Trump understands that, okay? And that is why Trump is beating DeSantis when it comes to his electability versus Biden in the general election. Trump is simply more reasonable on this issue, right? And that's the reason why, because Trump is more moderate, okay? That's where the country is actually at. And in order for the conservative movement to win, the conservative movement in response to left-wing extremism doesn't need to get more extreme, right? On certain issues, we should get more extreme. Like, for example, school choice, we should be extreme on that. The border, we should be extreme on that. When it comes to crime, we should be more extreme on that. But when it comes to this issue of abortion, an issue where we don't have the numbers, okay, we don't have the national support for in regards to a federal ban, especially if you're talking about 6 weeks, yeah, we got to be like, all right, we need to compromise on this. Because in order to solve these other issues, okay, that are affecting American people, we have to compromise on a few issues in order to get there, right? And that's the reality of politics. Trump understands this, and this is why I rock with Trump, right? This is why I rock with Trump, okay? The guy is not a dummy, and he understands how to play the political game, okay? I believe that he's learned a lot more in the past few years, and it seems like, again, he's in general election mode, and you're seeing that show up in the numbers. And this is why he's a much more electable candidate in the general election than somebody like DeSantis, who, again, I like, right? I like DeSantis. I like a lot of these guys, but the argument that DeSantis is more electable than Trump has been thoroughly debunked, okay? What I find to be fascinating is that these same people who went out here and made this argument about voting for DeSantis because of electability don't seem to apply that same logic when it comes to this issue of abortion. And that's the fascinating part about it, right? Electability matters, except when it comes to this issue right here. When it comes to this issue, electability goes out the window. Let's just burn the whole ship down, right? Instead of maintaining the progress that we have and then building on it later on down the road when we finally have the political capital to do it. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.